DeForest Kelley, who plays Dr. Bones McCoy on the Star Trek series, has beamed to Earth to help find homes for the lost creatures of the North Shore Animal League on Long Island.
My interest in this, I must say, really was stimulated by my wife, who had been contributing to this place. We both love animals. Leonard had one and they named it Spock, which drove him crazy after working all day and hearing that name. And then when they come and say, "Hey, Spock, come here, here's Spock."
He is aided in his mission by the young astronauts of Weber Junior High School.
It's a private issue. It should be a private issue. Abortion should be the right of a woman and her family to decide, and not have the decision imposed on her or them. It's private, and it's not fair that a small group of vocal people who have very strong feelings and who are entitled to their feelings and entitled to their choice should try to take away somebody.
Leonard Nimoy, Mr. Spock himself. Both were enormous hits, but Nimoy says directing is a frightening enterprise.
The frightening thing always has to do with schedule and money. It's not about knowing what the work has to be. I always knew that I'd be okay about that. The question is, can you get it done in the allotted period of time and be responsible to the budget in the studio? It has been described as being running on a train track with a train coming up behind you, and can you stay ahead of it? And that's tough.
I want you to like my performance in the picture, but if you don't like my performance in the particular picture, tough. I've got another one coming up that I think you might. But this is 3 years of my life. This has to say what I have to say.
Hey, he said it very well.
Sweetheart, that is the greatest thing you could tell me.
Sweetheart from
Got a home down Captain Kirk.
4 pins as opposed to these, which have 3.
Has them?
This was taken when I was much older.
Reporter's log, Earth date 7/18/92. The Nassau Coliseum is filled with thousands of Earthlings who have this curious fascination with a television program that has been out of production for nearly a quarter century. Logic isn't the issue here. These people of all generations are devoted to 2 generations of Star Trek, but they're quick to say there's nothing like the original.
I love all of them. They're great. I mean, one just gets better than the other. But the originals, you know, they what make the next generation, everybody wants to watch them.
The convention since 1976, and I haven't stopped since. This is great.
Their show is an hour-and-a-half combination of stand-up comedy and anecdotes about their lives.
Charlie, I gotta get this guy's autograph. And did you know who this guy is, Charlie? He's incredible. You ever watch him on television? Charlie's staring at me and doesn't get it. He says, Charlie, this guy is incredible. He does wonderful things. He's mental. He's on television all the time. My family's crazy about him. Charlie says, yeah, so who is he? So the guy says, Charlie, this is the amazing Kreskin. I had time to run up to my room between shows and take a shower. I tore off my clothes in the Well, it's true. I saw a mirror. I couldn't pan anyway.
They have lived long.
No, never.
It's exciting?
Yes, very exciting, and I wouldn't miss it in the world.
Find love, and I would have a horse galloping across the pasture, the valleys, a dog, and freedom from pain of any kind.
Isn't this a glorious California morning to make history? Last month, the California Supreme Court made history by ruling for equality in marriage. And this morning, we're all here to give flesh and blood reality to that ruling. We're going to make history.
They're playing too short.
Why are they playing anyway? I went to a meeting first with J.J. Abrams, the director, and his writers, and a couple of the producers that worked for him. We had a very good conversation in which they reawakened in me the passion that I used to have about Star Trek. Because I felt that they really understand what it can be at its best, and a particularly good appreciation for the Spock character. I said, I'll read a script. And when the script was done, I read it, and I said, I think it's wonderful. Kelley is gone, and Major Roddenberry is gone, and Mark Leonard, who played my father, is gone. Jimmy Doohan, who played Scotty, is gone. Very emotional for me watching these young people replace them, but they do such a beautiful job. It brings back wonderful memories.
Did William Shatner send you flowers?
He's okay. We're very good friends, and he's okay.
Thank you, sir.
But he walks on and you kind of expect everyone to genuflect in front of the Star Trek deity that is Mr. Nimoy, but he is so unassuming, and he walks on set and was kind of having like a chaperone to prom or something. He was very nicely and gently and quietly, I felt, kind of giving the mantle over to the new cast, and it was really moving, a really profound experience.
Well, the script was great in its own right, but we were thrilled to have Leonard involved, not only because of the heritage, but he actually plays a very significant role in the film. It's not like he just turns up and, is Spock for a little while and disappears. I mean, it's a very significant part of the film, and that's why we were so excited.
It was very hard because every time I was around him, I always felt speechless, completely speechless, but...
I mean, when I met Leonard, I think that kind of takes the cake because we were on an elevator and we were just meeting for the first time as they were announcing that I'd be playing the role at Comic-Con, and he was there to say that he'd be in the movie, and the elevator doors open and we had just met each other, and he just looked at me and he goes, "You have no idea what you're in for, kid," and then he was off. And I was like,